Welcome back to Design Bundles YouTube channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Crystal. Today, I'm going to show you guys how to layer HTV vinyl using your Mini Cricut Easy Press. So I don't think I've done a lot of tutorials with this little guy right here, and I wanted to show you that you can do small projects like this. You can actually even do bigger projects if you would like. It's just going to take a lot longer. But for example, for baby onesies and bodysuits and things like that, this little mini guy right here is perfect. So you could get yourself a Cricut, and if you want to save money on your heat press or Cricut Easy Press, you could definitely just snag one of these little guys right here. You can usually find them around, I believe, anywhere between like maybe $35 and $49. Not too bad. All right, so we've got this guy. I have it on number 3, so you're just going to push your button 3 times. 1, 2, 3. It's going to be red. Once it's ready to go, it's going to be green. But I've already let mine preheat up. I've already cut out my layers here. Now, what I did was I used my Cricut Maker 3, but I used the mat and I loaded all of these colors. So I cut them down to size, and then for example, I put the red on the left corner, the orange on the right, a little bit down, I put my yellow and then my green and my blue. So I was able to fit all of these on one mat. If you guys want to see how I did that, leave a comment down below and I'll definitely get a video out for you guys. So you guys can find this design over on designbundles.net. It is only 1+ credit, and I think it is absolutely darling. So I've got this cute little bodysuit here that has red arms. You could pick up your baby onesies, bodysuits, even from Target and Walmart, Amazon, anywhere, just some sort of blank outfit like this. All right, so a few things you're going to need. Your little mini Easy Press. You're going to need either the Cricut pad, or even you could use a towel for this. And then also you're gonna need a piece of parchment paper. So you're only gonna need this if, for example, I don't have something to cover my entire design to protect it. So for example, you guys know I use all the time, I just use these extra pieces here once I press them. I'll show you guys in a second. But if you didn't want to do that, just get yourself a piece of parchment paper that will cover everything. This one doesn't, but you guys get the point. Get yourself a piece of parchment paper that covers everything, so that way whenever you're pressing, you don't put this little guy right on top of some open HTV. So whenever you're using this guy, I have found that, say for example, I've already pressed my red and I've peeled that off. Now I'm working on the orange. Make sure you protect your HTV, because this little guy, when you're moving it, can jam it around and gunk it up. All right, so let's get going. So we've got our HTV, like I said, iron on it. We've already got it cut out. So I'm going to start with my biggest guy right here, the rainbow. Now what I did was I layered them together. I could actually fold this in half and get my center mark. It's okay that this guy fell out. It's just the center, and then I'm just going to come down. When it comes to the baby onesies and bodysuits, you just need to come down around 1 to 2 fingers. Really, you want to keep them kind of high, because if you don't, it can really end up down in the belly. So if I did my normal 4 fingers like a t-shirt, it's going to be here, way too far down. So just about a finger, finger and a half or so. And so we're going to get it nice and high here. So I think somewhere right about here looks great. So I've got this, just kind of eyeballing everything, making sure it looks good. All right, so I'm happy with it. I'm good. So I'm going to get my pad underneath here. And then I'm just going to get this right up here at the top. I don't have to worry about seams or anything like that, because this little guy's not going to be big enough to cover everything anyways. So I'm just going to get this here. Looks great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull away all of those layers except for the last one, so I can keep all of these guys together. Get it out of my way here. And what we're going to do is we're going to work from one side to the next. You're just going to keep it going. Whenever it comes to your little mini guy, you don't want to just set it there. You want to keep going. You're just going to rub from one side to the next. I'm just kind of pushing down a little bit. And you're just going to keep pressing. Now, I don't have to get all of this at one time. I could do that at the very end if I want to. So I'm just going to kind of get it going for just a few seconds, just right about there. So we're just doing like a tack down layer. All right, looks good. This is a warm to hot peel, so I could go ahead and start to peel away just like so. Now, this is not completely cured, because you want around 30 seconds or so to have it to where it's washable, if you will. So we're going to save this little guy here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up my next color, which is going to go somewhere right about it here. And then you're just going to peel. So you're just going to keep on doing that. So I'm going to go ahead, and what I want to do is I want to protect this red here. So what we could do is you could actually just take that piece of parchment paper, and then we're just going to go over the orange. So I'm not going over the red again this time. I'm just getting that orange. And I'm going to go over it just like so. Once again, I'm keeping this guy constantly moving. You can do kind of circular motions here. And I'm just kind of giving it a little bit of pressure. Now, once again, it only takes about 1 to 2 seconds to get that tack down. It's a warm to hot pill, so I can pill. So let's go ahead and grab our next one. So we're going to go right about here. Looks good. We're going to peel everything away, including this little guy here. All right, so going back into the next layer, I'm going to cover everything up and just go over that yellow. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat the same process. Now, if you are using Cricut iron-on, I do recommend that you do about 5 seconds tack down for each layer, as it does take a little bit more to get it to tack down. But you just need, I'm using Caesar today. It's a mixture between StarCraft and Caesar, and it just takes around 2 seconds. So once again, it's a warm or a hot peel. We're going to peel it up just like so. And then I'm going to go ahead and come in with that green layer. And one thing is you want to be careful. So you want to make sure that you don't lay something down. Like you guys see how I'm laying all of these down together while this is hot, because this can start to heat this up. So you may want to just come down individual into the next colors instead of the whole thing like I was doing. So I'm going to go ahead and keep on going, get my next layer here. So I do think that this little guy right here is great. Once again, for little projects like this, it's perfect. For smaller, you could even do youth and toddler stuff and really get away with it. So if t-shirts, obviously, if it's not your small business and you're not doing a ton of them, just get yourself one of these. It's going to be perfect. All right, so there we go. We've got our next color, and we're going to go ahead and come in here to our blue layer. So this is where it's going to be a little bit tricky, because you can see we're going to go ahead and get down that blue layer because I welded these two together. So here in a little bit, we're going to come back with these two here. So I'm going to be able to get my purple layer and my pink layer down at the same time, because I kind of trimmed around my purple layer so I could just put those down together. All right, so once again, I'm going to protect the rest of my stuff. And we're just going to go right on top of this blue. Now you can see I don't need to protect this clear sheet. So that's a question I see all the time too, is why am I not putting parchment paper on top of this clear? Consider this clear your Teflon sheet and your parchment. It's doing the job. It's protecting in between your material, the HTV, and your iron. So you don't need a parchment between your plastic. So that's something I see all the time, and that's why. But for example, up here, if I was going to accidentally touch the exposed, then I do. So anything that is exposed, any sort of HTV or iron-on that's exposed and no longer has that plastic, you want to protect it with your parchment. All right, so I think I've covered everything. You just want to make sure you fully cover everything before you start to lift. And so once again, we've got a hot, warm peel. I can peel that away. So we're going to go into this little guy right here. Once again, I'm going to be able to pop both of these layers down. So if you have two layers that are just going to be next to each other, there's no plastic. For example, I would not be able to put this pink down if there was plastic in between that rainbow, but I completely trimmed all the way around that rainbow. So I'm able to do so. So what I'm going to do now is, once again, I'm going to protect. I don't have to be all the way at the top because my iron's not up there. Just anywhere my iron's going to touch. So I'm going to go ahead and just come right here and get these two pieces down. So I'm just rubbing to get it tacked down at first. Now this little pink piece is a Cricut Smart Vinyl, so I'm going to take a little bit longer. And once again, you see that I'm constantly keeping this guy moving. We don't want to be like normal and just keep it there. We want to keep it moving. All right. So now what I can do is I can get down my pink layer, peel off my purple. And if you guys ever trim right up on it, you just got to kind of get it going like so. Sometimes it's harder to find an area to get going on. So you guys can see I had it trimmed right on top of it. All right, so now to smooth everything out. So for example, right here on my blue, I've got a line from where that pink piece was, kind of putting some grooves. Plus, I need to seal everything. So I need to give everything around 30 seconds. So I'm gonna start from the bottom here. I've put my parchment paper, and I'm just gonna go on top, keeping that heat. I'm trying not to jab anything, nice and smooth. I'm not pushing down too hard. Just keeping that heat going just like so. Keeping a constant motion here, just like this. So once again, it's around 30 seconds for each area. All right, so it looks good. I'm gonna move my parchment paper up. and I'm gonna keep on working. So I'm just gonna kind of do half the rainbow and then the other half. Once again, you guys can see that I'm just keeping that heat consistent, and I'm kind of giving it a little bit to get it to press down in the t-shirt there. All right, and then we'll peel it up and move to the top. And I can already see the texture coming through my HTV. So the way to tell whether you have your HTV on your t-shirt very well is you'll see the texture of the t-shirt come through. It'll look kind of pebbled is the way to describe it. So I'm just gonna kind of go over my top part here, smoothing everything out. All right, looks good. Now another thing that we can do is we can flip it over. So see, there you guys have it, super, super cute. Flip it over because Cricut does recommend that you flip your garment over and press again for 15 seconds. But this time I don't need a parchment paper in between. I'm just heating from this side, kind of like an iron, just smoothing out. What I'm doing is I'm getting the back side of that adhesive to heat up, so that way that HTV will bond even better to the fabric. So I'm just kind of not pushing too hard. I don't want to tear up my t-shirt or anything. Just basically heating up that entire design. And there you have it. Look at how gorgeous this is. So hopefully you guys can see this texture coming through, so you guys can kind of see that pebbled, and that means it has fully adhered. And you guys can see how big this design is. This is about a 5x5 design, and we were able to do this and accomplish it with that little bitty mini Cricut Easy Press. So I do highly recommend, especially for small projects like this. It's super quick. You can see it really didn't take a super long time or anything like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please hit the like button down below and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.